since 1972. 1971. So Madhuri Tai has all the experiences. She has spent a lot of time with Sri Mataji. So she is going to guide us on certain puja experiences. And if there are any protocol questions anybody has, Madhuri Tai will try to answer it. Jai Shri Mataji.
You're really putting me in a spot.
Madhuri Tai first.
So let's see. So I think the most questions I'm getting, not questions, but people are curious about is pujas with Shri Mataji, like Sakshat pujas, and how it was. So 70s were very different from 80s, from 90s. 2003 on, she was quiet. So there was a different. But in the 70s, it was the foundation of Sahaja Yoga was, in Maharashtra, Shri Mataji started. So there was a lot more emphasis on using your vibrations, learning to use your vibrations, which is the foundation of Sahaja Yoga, right? We have to feel things. We can mentally decide a lot, especially with pujas. It has to come from the heart, and you have to feel it. So as a kid, in the 70s, we were helping around the grown-ups with simple things. We were 9 years old, 10 years old. It could be as simple as decorating a tree with puja things on it, or mixing kumkum for the collective. So very small jobs. So I would say 70s was more laying the foundation of Sahaja Yoga for the whole world, like what the protocol should be. And so there were some common things that I can share. We always had to foot soak before we came in presence of Shri Mataji. The pujas were Sakshat pujas, so Shri Mataji was there. So we had to be in a state of a frame of mind, or in a very balanced state, no matter whether you're 9-year-old or the 30-year-old who's actually on the stage preparing. So there's no ashrams or collective living, so we all came from our homes to wherever Shri Mataji was going to have a puja. We all foot soaked and came, because that's what we were told to do before every puja. And there was not much socializing happening. Shri Mataji herself was there. So it was full attention on her. And that meant silence, because she's right there and you are preparing, and she was showing how to prepare. So she would be talking. Yes, she would be showing, she would be talking. Full attention on Shri Mataji. We were just the hands. So according to the age, you were given a duty. This is 70, so in 71 on, I was able to help in my age-appropriate duties. I was 9, so whatever, like putting rangoli or putting color in whatever, it was age-appropriately distributed, and mother was there. And so the full focus was Shri Mataji, and she directing individually. She knew all our names, first name. She knew everybody's names, the entire collective in Mumbai. She knew, husband, wife, child, daughter, son. And sometimes she would just direct, Madhuri, take her, like, go do that. So she was the focus. And as we grew older, she wouldn't even have to talk. She would just with her eyes just point, and we knew what she wanted, because now we had attended many Sakshat pujas. We meaning all age groups. It wasn't, I'm going to share some of my experiences, but in general, everybody knew what was expected of them. So that's how pujas began in Mumbai, very direct. Marathi language, by the way, is extremely direct. There's no sugarcoating. So I was told many times, Laksha kuthe hai? Where's your attention? So Even as a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, if she saw me a little bit where my attention was not on her, then she would say, Laksha kuthe, where's your attention? You know. So we got trained in that. That Puja day was a very solemn, but very Puja didn't start at Puja, like it started before, because you had to prepare yourself inside. And I remember one time she said that the puja we do outside is it's like an external puja. What's actually happening is what's happening inside. So what's happening inside is that once we get our realization and our Atma is, so it, Marathi, this is all in Marathi, so I'm translating as I go along. So Atma Sakshatkar, when she gives us that, which is self-realization, the Atma is enlightened. So now say we are, 50 here, 70 here, we have 70 Atmas that are enlightened, but there's only one Paramatma, which is Shrimataji. So these 70 Atmas have now to connect to Paramatma. Paramatma has a name and came in the form of Nirmala, Shrimataji Nirmala Devi, but the Atmas have no name, it's pure spirit. So even though I'm Madhuri Danfi, my Atma is not Madhuri Danfi, it's pure spirit. So how she would treat us also like that you are enlightened souls. We were so few. In 71 we were 30, 72 we were 50, 80, and then it kept growing. So we all got individual attention, but what it felt like was, you are the spirit, you are the Atma who has to connect to Paramatma. Paramatma has come in the form of Shrimataji Nirmala Devi, and the puja might be it might be Devi Puja, it might be Krishna Puja, whatever the form the Paramatma wants to take for that puja. We, the yogis, were there for the puja of the, union between Atma and Paramatma. So it was quite well defined to us, the Mumbai Sahaja Yogis in the 70s, that what she expected of us is to have the puja within. So even though there was a lot of things to do outside, we were our attention was inside, because we were trying to connect to her, even though she's physically there within us. So it was a very different, like even though the form is there, you had to contain your attention inside, full attention on her, so that she directs you to do something. You are just the hands that does it, but you're still very much, nobody took bathroom breaks or showed up late, or we all wore proper clothes, hair is brushed nicely, tied. So there was that code of conduct that no matter what age, we all somehow, we just knew, maybe, I don't even know, maybe she said to the grown-ups, I was a kid, we just knew how to behave in a way. So then she, slowly in the 80s, late 70s and early 80s, she started telling us less, like directing us not as much for puja. She was more, she kind of left it to us to grow up, and there were enough grown-ups who had performed puja. So now there was like a foundation. That foundation then, which one of them was my mom. So I remember my mom talking to the British Sahaja Yogis, to I think Australians. So when India tour would happen, there would be sessions where my mom would teach how to do pujas to Australians, British, because now it had to spread to the whole world. And Maharashtra was the origin of it, or the foundation. So like a seeding was happening, the seeds were being planted, and the puja protocol. So the most important puja protocol to share is basically this. Puja is always between Atmas, all of us, and Paramatma. So it doesn't matter what is happening outside, your attention inside should be looking to to connect to this all-pervading divine power. And in a sakshat form, it was easier in some way because she's right there. You are connecting to her, you are watching her, your attention is fully on her. But then also you can make a little bit, how to say, fall in the maya of it and you can make mistakes. In a nirakar form, I feel it's in a way, how do you say, it's very, very dynamic in a way, because you just welcome her in your heart, which is where our atmas are, residing in the heart, and surrender to her, or to Paramatma. So there is no that Mahamaya in front of you, where there's a lot of, activity going on the outside also. So just this little bit of protocol for how it should be within, more than without. So that's very important, because I think as years go by, we do get involved into the ritual aspect of it, how many mantras, how many... Yes, it is important, but what is important, it is what's happening within, and so your attention should always be looking inward. You should, more than focusing on the actual process of, that is a format. Of course, there's a Ganesh Puja first, then the Devi Puja, and then there's the deity puja, whichever deity is being worshipped. And every puja that she would take the form of that deity. So it was very interesting for us, even back then, to kind of understand or feel, to realize that, okay, this is Guru Puja, so she will be in the form of Guru. So there was a little bit more strictness, less mother, more Guru. So we really had to watch our attention. We don't make mistakes, or do our best. It's not like, nothing to feel guilty about, but you wanted to, be on your best inside. So again, same protocols. It doesn't matter which puja. You had to foot soak. You had to be there ahead early and just be ready to receive her. And so I'm going to share a couple of stories from 90s, because pujas kept changing. They were evolving. Shri Mataji was changing them. There were no bhajans in the 70s. It was mantras, and like sometimes, Sahasranam, like 1,000 names. Even not just for Havan. Sometimes she would, it would just organically, it was supposed to be a puja, and then it would end up into these names that she would explain each meaning. So there was not a format, right? But that was the foundation years. In the 80s, none of that. There was a little bit more, it was more organized by her, like what should she want, what she expected. So in 70s, a lot of mantras, a lot of, yes, I've been in Havans, 1,000 names, and on the 70s, maybe early 80s. And then pretty soon, it was not needed. The foundation was set, basically, for the World Sahaj Sangha. So she had then moved it to a different level, where 108 names of during Havan, or even during Puja, 108 names of. And by then, what had happened is, yogis, especially in Maharashtra, had, with her guidance, had made 108, with Shri Mataji's name in it. So in India, what happened in Maharashtra, there's a lot of Sahasranams for everything, like Vishnu, there's already there. But those are names of Shri Vishnu, those are names of Shri Rama. But Shri Mataji, in Sahaja Yoga, Shri Mataji, her name was the mantra. So her name had to be there. So what it was she guided. There were people like Mr. Anandamle and people like that, with the names, with her name, with her meaning. Nirmala, what does it mean? Sitting with them one-on-one. And then they formed, and there would be many approvals. So if she didn't like, yogis would also, not yogis, this one or two yogis that she chose for this job, they would suggest, and she said, no, I'm not that. That's not my name. Then I'm talking about Shri Mataji's 108 names. So we witnessed that. Like there was a lot of feedback. It wasn't just done out of the blue. It was her choosing the names, explaining the meaning, that yogi writing it down in Marathi or Sanskrit. Then the translation she had to correct also. Like she didn't like some of the translations that yogi would do, and then she would. So it was a very much evolving process of the names, just her names, right? So there's a lot of power in that. So we don't want to alter or change any of that. We have a mantra book. It's been done by Shri Mataji, blessed by Shri Mataji. And even things like chakra chart, I remember, I would say it was like 71, 72. I was a little girl, I was sitting in the back. There was about 150 people in the public program, and I was doing my homework on a slate, we call Marathi party with a chalk. And it was, I was doing my times tables because my exam for math was next day. I was 9 or 10 years old. And suddenly she called my name and she said, party day, like give me your slate. So I honestly thought she's checking my homework. So I totally got really oh my God, now the whole 150 of them are going to know I made a mistake in my times table. So I go with the party and the slate, and she turned it around, which was blank on the other side, and she drew a chakra chart, which was just a triangle with 3 nadis, with the little lotus on the top, and the Sushumna in the middle. And there's 150 of them, small plate, this slate this size. And then she's showing everybody, so everybody's coming closer and looking on this diagram of what the subtle system looks like, because there was no chart. This is 70, very early 70s. And I know I was super relieved that it was not my homework she wanted to check. So and then she gave it to me. There's a little sweet story there, that when I gave the slate to her, she did look at my times table. But I was so nervous that she's going to find a mistake. I don't recall much, but when I went and sat down in the back, she had put a little tick mark. So she had actually checked talk about multitasking. Here she's drawing the chakra chart on the back, and then she checks my homework and puts a little tick, and I was like, oh, she saw my homework, So it was very much intimate, very soon enough. One of the yogis, Moreshwar was his name, he was an artist. He was only 12 or 13, and he felt inspired to draw a chakra chart. And he came to Shri Mataji, and of course, she was happy that he was doing it, but there were many corrections to be made. So the spelling of Muladhara, it went through 3-4 corrections, and the final chakra chart was approved. And then we had one chakra chart that was made for the whole collective, that had to go from everywhere she went. We had to take until somebody said, it's not working, there's programs everywhere, we need more than one chakra charts. And then, so things like that. So it was very much organic, learning as we go, attention always on Shri Mataji. And so again, with puja specifically, I feel like we have to ready ourselves before any puja. For us, the puja, doesn't matter what it's called, Krishna, Ganesh, whatever, is a Atma, Paramatma puja. We really have to, within us, be ready that today, at this day, my Atma is going to connect to the all-pervading Paramatma. And if you have that feeling of, it's bhakti, it's adoration, it's, as a poet, you could write poetry on that. Honestly, it's such a deep meaning, right? It's that connection that we came here for. She chose us, right? We came into Sahaja Yoga. We were chosen by Paramatma, by the all-pervading, to be her children, and we need to stand up to it. We need to keep that as our priority. It's okay if you forget a little bit something in the offering of it. because that's an external puja. I am not saying we should break protocols that have been going on, but I think the inside puja is a lot more precious, more where you absolutely have to remember why you are here, what is your purpose, what is this puja about, is for you. This 300 Atmas have to connect to her, the Paramatma. And once that is okay, things are just, the vibrations flow. I don't even know, I've made so many mistakes in pujas, in Sakshat pujas, where in the offerings, I have made personally mistakes in the offerings. I can give quick example. She came in 85 to San Diego. We got married in 84. I was the first Indian yogini who came from India. I was only 22. And no experience in puja preparation. Srimataji arrived in San Diego. So I prepared what I thought should be for puja. Now, little bit I had been experienced in India with the grown-ups, but I never was doing it all, like the whole puja preparation. I was too young, and so anyway, I knew that sandalwood pleases, the divine. So we have this in Marathi we call sahan, cord, and cord. Sahan is the stone and cord is the sandalwood. And you make this fresh sandalwood paste, right? So you just put water and you keep rubbing. And so I made like little small container of it. And then Srimataji, of course, when she came and she saw the puja prepared, it's only me, they were all Americans in the ashram. There was no other Indian. No other Indian had been matched to an American yet. So I'm the only one. And she looks at it and she said, Chandanacha lep, means is it a sandalwood paste? How did you make it? So I said, Srimataji, with hand. So she said, only this much? Because I had a little small container. I don't know and then she said, okay, now put it on my feet. And I thought when you put on the feet, we're going to put on the top of the feet. So she wanted the whole soles of the feet rubbed with that little sandalwood paste. I felt so ashamed because it was like 2 teaspoons that I made. And she has 2 feet with all the soles she wanted, because she said that the sandalwood absorbs the heat. It's very cooling, and she wanted all the soles of the feet with sandalwood salep or that paste. So I understood, okay, it might not be true. I should have been generous, right? It's how long it takes to make a little bit more paste. It's just, but again, nobody to guide me. There was no aunties, no grown-ups, no Indians, even in Sahaja Yoga. So next year I make a nice full katori of it. And same thing, she comes, that's 86, 87, probably, another puja. And she looks at it and she goes, but my feet are not hot, she said. So when I made the large amount, she didn't need it. But when I didn't make, she wanted it for herself. So that taught me that we don't know anything. We really don't know anything with the divine. We are human. And we are realized humans. But there's a big, divinity is divinity. That is, you cannot second guess, you cannot think ahead, you have to let go completely and do it with joy. It's okay. She is not this is not even when she would say Laksha Kuthe, which is where's your attention, so Marathi language is strong, right? So we get told this since age little, by uncles, aunties, everybody. There's no reaction. It's like, oh yes, where is my attention? And you move on and you fix yourself. And so you don't do that mistake again. You might do another mistake, some completely different one. But there's that, that relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship. As much as we need her, she needed us. We are the foundation of Sahaja Yoga, right? In America in 80s, Sahaja Yoga was not, how do you say, we were you could count on your fingers and toes. That many yogis were in 85, 86 in America. You know, it's a symbiotic relationship. God cannot exist without his devotees, and devotees cannot exist without God. So we are all in it together, and that feeling, we should keep that we are, all of us are one, and all of us are wanting to connect to her. So there is no, what protocol can you break? Like how much dirt can a little drop of ocean collect that that drop of water can collect that the ocean cannot clean? It just doesn't work like that. It's you can be as polluted as you are in her presence, by her grace. It's no more. It's just, that is a reality. And so in pujas, you know, I have seen sometimes older yogis correcting a lot to newer ones, which causes a reaction, which causes a fear in them, because they feel, oh, I broke some protocol because they did. If you are open to the grace of Srimataji, if your heart is clean, there is no mistake you can make. I am not saying don't follow protocol. Absolutely, there were certain protocols that she herself wanted, so she made it easy for us by telling us, you know, like don't draw swastikas the other way. It's a Hitler sign, it's evil, it's negative. So she told us all these things. So don't make such mistakes, but it's okay, be a little fluid. It's not, you won't, there's no need for left vishuddhi if, you know, something is missing. And the reason I say that, because all the years that I was attending to Srimataji, or it was extremely fluid. There was no, there was no recipe or no prescription of doing anything a particular way. It was just not, she was not that. She was so much more and beyond that. As long as the vibrations were flowing, as long as your Atma was open to her, like you absolutely had to open yourself to her, like you facing the sun, and the flower has to face the sun to receive the rays, right, from the sun. So the flower just has to be open and face the sun and receive. And then, you know, then things work out. The flower blooms. It doesn't have to do anything. It just has to open itself or face the grace of the divine, and it is going to bloom. Nothing can stop it. It is going to blossom. It is going to flower. So I don't know if any of this helps for what questions. I've heard there are some questions which I can answer the best, but I cannot say that every puja was the same way, because she would switch things up. In the pujas in the 80s and 90s, she wouldn't even, not so much 80s, but mostly 90s, she would just look, and she would direct you with just the look. So even though all the trays were ready, and we are decorating the feet, I mean, I remember doing multiple things, and then she would put her hand out. So I am decorating her feet, but she wanted bangles put at the same time. You cannot do that physically. One person's here. So you did what she said. So you just finish whatever you were doing. You go put the bangles on, go back, decorate. It was absolutely fluid. So even though there was some structure, you had to do what she wanted. And so you just had to pay attention to her, no matter what's going on around you, because there was activity going on also. Your attention was, and she didn't have to say, she would just let you know what she wanted, you know. So it was very fluid, it was absolutely beautiful, and it felt so natural. It wasn't a ritual, it was just this play of, you know, between the divine and the few humans that were on the stage, you know, doing different things. And so in that context, I would like to share some joyful stories. Krishna Puja in the mid-90s, I want to say it's 97, but I am not 100% sure which year, but Americas used to host pujas and Krishna pujas. They always host Krishna puja in Gabella. So we were there as hosting countries, Canada, South America, North America. We were there, as hosting the Krishna puja in Gabella. And so this puja, Anand Murdeshwar, as you know, amazing flautist, plays a flute, and he would come every year for Krishna puja. So the puja is going on, Shri Mataji is on, the Devi puja is going on, so the ladies are holding the sari, and there's two ladies decorating the feet. So with me was the South lady, Sajogini from South America, and she didn't speak English, and she was the one that the country chose for her to decorate Shri Mataji's feet. So we both are on the stage. We met at the feet. Like, I didn't know who she was. We didn't know each other, not even names. And they must have told, somebody must have told her, just follow her. So we were on the stage decorating the feet. And this has never happened to me in prior pujas or pujas after, Sakshat pujas. But this particular puja, the music was, all the bhajans were always amazing. But Shri Mataji was absolutely enjoying the music. So in that enjoyment, and in her form of Shri Krishna, she was moving her feet. Like when you keep tal, like that. She wasn't doing her hand, but she was moving her feet. So her feet were vibrating, and she wasn't lifting them off, but she was moving them. So now we have to draw the swastikas on moving feet. So this lady, it's the first time, she's looking at me like, should we hold the feet? And I'm like, no, she doesn't know. She's brand new, first time puja. I said, no, we just have to decorate the feet while they're dancing, really. So again, she's not lifting them off the ground, but they're definitely moving. So this had never happened in all the pujas before. She always would keep her feet very still while we are decorating them and bending over, and she would correct, like make it longer or whatever she wanted. It changed every time. So there's no form. I can't even say, oh, do it exactly like that, because she would not, it wouldn't be the same. Sometimes they were a little longer, sometimes. Anyway, that's just, that's how pujas were, very, very fluid. So this one, now the feet are moving, and so we had to decorate like catching the wave, when it's little still, you make a line, then you make another line. So it's not a straight line, right? It's choppy. So so anyway, the swastikas are done, and the joy pouring. She was thoroughly, so whenever the bhajan group, I don't know if it was Nirmal Sangeet said that, if there was a high note, feet so a little bit higher, like the heels were up. So we are trying to, you want the swastikas to look good, right? Like in the photograph, they're smooth, they match, So it was a very beautiful moment. She was enjoying us. She was really, her feet were dancing in a way, vibrating, and it felt like it was for me, it just felt like I'm in Gokul or something with Sri Krishna, dancing. He's like, you want to paint my feet? Try it. Let's see if you can do it. That kind of mischief, that kind of vibrations was, I hope you guys feel the vibrations of this moment, because it was so precious that she was just, in that element of Sri Krishna and in that form of Sri Krishna. So anyway, we do the swastikas the best we can. After puja, beautiful puja, lots of vibrations. The heart was just like bursting with joy because of her joy in the puja. And then we go to the castle. Everybody leaves. The hubbub dies. She wants to change from a puja sari to the sari she wears at night to go to sleep. And that's when she saw her feet. And she looked at them, and literally they looked like a kid had drawn a swastika. They did not look like nice, smooth swastikas, So I'm pulling my ears like she hadn't even looked down, so that's when she saw them. And I hope you guys feel the vibration. As soon as she looked down, and she had this big smile, and she said, that is Sri Krishna. And it was such a beautiful moment, because it was just like it reminded you, you already felt it. We felt everybody in that puja, and after the whole Kabela collective said that it was just so powerful and so joyful. The word that kept coming was, it was so joyful, it was so light, like it was a whole different feeling created by her, you know, her joy to be with us. She was enjoying us and the music, and of course that created a whole level of joy. So that's one puja's experience I wanted to share. It's just keeps coming back because it's such it just opens your heart up, you know, it's like fills your heart with that joy. The other one is equally beautiful. So this is another year, mid-90s. It was a Saturday. Srimataji, after waking up, she was going to meet different people, but then she had a little bit of free time, I guess you can say, when nobody was meeting her. Puja was on Sunday, Krishna Puja. So she came out into the, so Kabela living room, there's a balcony outside from the living room. So she wanted the doors open and she came out. So she's standing in the balcony in the living room and looking down, and you know, it's many levels, right? 7 floors or whatever. Her rooms are upstairs. So she's looking down and all this hubbub of activity, you know, the children are playing and beautiful, like all the groceries are coming, and she's watching all that happening from way up there, and nobody looks up, right? They are all going to the kitchen or doing their job. So she stood there just like this, you know, watching everybody, and she looked very pleased, like Allah Dadain, you know, that very pleased, you know, and she's just watching the whole activity, you know, and nobody knows she's watching because they're all doing their thing. Children, like I said, you know, everybody playing and children playing and all that. Then she comes inside in the living room of Kabela and she said, see what's going on downstairs. But I could tell from her body language or the way her, you know, that she was pleased with something. But again, she said, go check what's happening. So I come down from the living room, I go all the way down to the kitchen, which is basement. Next to the kitchen is the dining room. And in the dining, when I'm coming down, I start hearing music already. But when I go to the dining room, it was a very surreal feeling. I don't know how to even say it in words. There were about 80, 90 yogis. Krishna Puja was next day, so we made butter, fresh butter for Krishna Puja. And being hosting countries, that was one of the things that we would do on Saturday, have the butter ready. So in Italy, you buy these Italian cream, and they come in glass bottles, and so you buy, I don't even know, 100 bottles or 200, a lot of bottles, because each cream bottle made only like 1 tablespoon of butter. So you needed to fill that handi, right, that whole butter pot. So you needed a lot of bottles. But the way you did it is you shook the bottles so that the butter would separate from the rest of the whey, or what you call it, the cream. So now you have to shake by hand those 2 bottles, right? And it takes 20-25 minutes to make 1 tablespoon of butter by shaking the bottle. So we used to always co-opt people, right? Whoever is around in the castle say, come, please help make us butter. So this day, there were probably 30 countries represented. There were just people who had come to meditate to the castle. They were grabbed by probably one of our sisters from America that, you know, we need help. So they came. So now everybody's gathered around the dining table, sitting, standing, and they're shaking the butter, right? So they all have 2 bottles, one in each hand, they're shaking. So this Romanian yogini, who had a beautiful voice, she starts singing. And as she's singing, they're doing the butter. So now we have, and you should feel the vibrations of this, now we have like 30 countries making butter for Shri Krishna Puja. There's no instruments, there's no tabla, nothing fancy, bangles, that was it. The bangles are going jing, 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 and the lady was singing, the people were matching their bangles sound to the singing. So that became an instrument, the bangles. And it was just magical. It was like I was watching and again that feeling of this is Krishna Puja, like this is Gokul, right? And no language, she was singing simple songs that everybody could sing, but she was the main singer, everybody was the chorus. The cooking was happening in the kitchen, they all stopped cooking. They could feel the vibrations automatically, nobody, so they all came and joined. So now we have 100 yogis plus with this massive group in the middle around the dining table, shaking for 25-30 minutes. They're just going, singing beautifully. And so after seeing that, now she had asked me to go down and sing a C, so I come up. And in the meantime, while I was gone, she went, and one of the duties of anybody who attended to Shrimataji was, she would give you instructions. I want to wear this sari for puja. I want to wear this sari for the entertainment night. So you were the one preparing everything ready, and she could change her mind last minute. Then you were there to immediately change or press the sari or whatever was needed, right? So nothing was laid out. She was not how do you say, ready for anything. Like there was nobody coming or but what she had done while downstairs this was happening, she went and changed into a beautiful Chanderi sari in a Gujarati style, the style of Radha, on her own, which was not very often. She went, opened the cupboard, got her sari out, changed completely, became the Sri Radha's, that Gujarati style sari. And she came and sat in the living room. So when I came up, she was dressed in, it wasn't a puja sari, but it wasn't the sari. Like, I thought I'm coming back to just 30 minutes ago, right? So it wasn't like, and she had completely changed. And she was sitting reclined on that white couch in the living room. Her eyes were almost closed, but not. She was not reclining like resting, but she had this beautiful smile on her face. And I walked in and I just realized I have to be very quiet. Like so I kind of hid behind, because now I saw she had changed. She had changed into a puja sari almost, and then she was enjoying the vibrations. And then after some time, she said, puja is done. And here we were, like, not even the backdrop was up, because Sunday was puja. So poor Dave and this whole group is on the puja stage preparing for puja for Sunday. And she said, puja zali. She said, puja is done. And I, of course, first time for me also, I said, Jishu Mataji, like, and she was just so happy. And she said something like, see, it's the right day for puja, she said, because it's Shanivar. So Shanivar in Marathi, Shani is Saturn. Saturn is the planet of Vishuddhi. And it was Shanivar, and so the puja was on the right day, I guess. So, but what set it off was these 100 yogis. That's what set it off. That their joyful, spontaneous, collective love for Shrimataji. So it was collectivity with 30-40 countries. It was absolutely joyful. It literally drew people in from kitchen, from everywhere. And spontaneous. It was totally spontaneous. And the puja had happened in essence. That's what I understood from. And then I remember the following year, I kind of very sheepishly asked Shrimataji, this year, would you like to have puja on Saturday instead of Sunday? Because now I'm thinking, wow, it should be on Saturday, Krishna puja, right? And she said, no, it should be on Sunday. She gave some, I think she said the musicians are coming to perform on Saturday evening. It's convenient for the yogis to have it on Sunday. So she said, no, it's on Sunday. So that never came up again. It was always Krishna puja was on the Sunday is what I believe. She might have changed again. We can look it up. But so this is a beautiful story again of pujas were very alive. It was a living process. It was not a ritual. It was a symbiotic play between the divine and us realized souls. We were all one. She taking us all under her pallu or her protection, and moving us along to the next level in our evolution, the depth. That was the goal of puja, right? To make us go deeper, to grow within. And yes, I don't know what else to share. Jai Shri Mataji. So if there people have questions, ask, but honestly, just surrender the questions to Shri Mataji. You will find your answers. One-on-one we can talk. I really want you all to feel that what a joy it was, every puja was. I know some pujas were tough, Guru pujas and all, she would not be so, she was strict. But there was a big change inside that would happen for each puja. And you felt it, every puja was a growth. So, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Ram.